All right, so I didn't say Cray. Obviously, I'm from Cray. If you look around, you'll find it. So I'm going to talk about where we are with OpenMP 4.0. So I'm probably the only person up here who has a compiler that does OpenACC. It's kind of a dirty word for some people. It's going to become apparent that it's not that bad. So I have this statement up here because I'm actually going to be talking about stuff that's not released, and it may change in what we implement when we actually do release a compiler, which will be out at the end, late next year. We'll skip over that. So status, the SIMD directive. So everybody thinks SIMD is a great idea. Cray was probably the only company that didn't want to add SIMD to OpenMP. With the direction we took was we actually took the SIMD directive as a hint. We have had a prefer vector directive for a very long time. That's what you're doing when you put SIMD on a loop for us. If you put SIMD on a function, it's an inline directive. So you cannot build a SIMD library with our compiler, and until somebody proves to us that they need to do that, they won't be able to do it. Skipping over to SIMD to Affinity. Affinity, we've done some work. There's a really good reason why OpenMP needs Affinity, and that's because every library under the sun wants to have its own helper thread these days. Your MPI library has a helper thread. OpenMP wants to have a helper thread. This thread, that thread, they all want helper threads. Well, helper threads get in the way. As soon as you have your system, like the Cray systems do, where we actually will map all your threads to a specific core, the helper threads get in the way and it messes up everything you can talk about. With OpenMP Affinity, only the OpenMP threads get an affinity mask given to them. Everybody else floats around unknown. So that it gives us a way to give back the performance that people have lost when they try to use some of these other libraries. I'm going to skip device constructs for a second and go down to UDRs. We've started the UDR implementation. We have a design for it. It'll be done. It's actually going to, vast majority of it will actually be done in the front end. If you know anything about our compiler, nothing has been done for OpenMP in the front end in our compiler before. This is the first feature that will be done in the front end. Going back to device constructs, we're literally mapping the directives from OpenMP onto our OpenACC architecture. So everything inside of our compiler, as soon as it gets from the front end into the optimizer where we do all of our work, it looks like OpenACC to us. We have a bit to tell us that it's OpenMP because there's a few minor changes, but otherwise it maps directly onto it. You can extract from that what that means for us anyways. There's no difference between OpenMP and OpenACC as far as the compiler is concerned. We have a lot of work to do there. We've just gotten started. If you're curious about what work we've accomplished, you can come by our booth. I'm not going to talk about it here because it's like 15 slides to talk about MG. If you want to talk about it, come to our booth. You can't miss us. There's a big sign that says Cray circling around in the sky. We found some issues. Then that's what you can come talk to me about. We have actually talked about it in the subcommittee and in the language committee, and we have an approach to solve that one issue that we found that was really scary at first. And that's all I have. So I'm very quick.